I'm so glad you made it in. After talking with you last night and running your credit report, we're right on track to get you to get pre-qualified to buy a home. And the reason that the real estate agent sent you here to get pre-qualified to purchase a home is to find out exactly what your purchasing power is. And what does that entail? Well, number one, we're going to go over all your documents. May I take a look at all your documents that you brought in? Great. Okay, I just want to confirm that you brought everything that I asked you for last night. So, do we have the 2 years of tax returns and W-2s? Great. I see that you did bring your 30 days of your most recent paycheck stubs. Wonderful. I see here we do have the 3 months of your bank statements. Awesome. Oh, you even made a copy of your driver's license and your social security job. Great job. I don't have to run to the copier. Thank you. And you do have a 401k. That's great. If other people, if you didn't have a 401k, sometimes you have a 403b. Sometimes people have assets in liquid accounts such as mutual funds or stocks and bonds, cash value policies. But you brought me everything that I needed to get started. Thank you for that. So are you excited about going through the process of buying this house? Awesome, awesome, awesome. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you a few questions. What's the next step? And one of the main things that I ask is, if you were to buy a house, how much of a monthly payment are you comfortable with every month when you write that check? And then secondly, I ask, if you were to buy the house, how much of a down payment, if you have any, for down payment and closing costs? Then I take in that information. And I just want to emphasize the reason why that the real estate agent sent you here to get you pre-qualified, to find out exactly what your purchasing power is. And the reason is, when he shows you properties to preview, he wants to make sure that he's showing you properties in your price range. The worst thing he wants to do is send you out and go take you to look at properties that you don't qualify for or that you're overqualified for. And when you do find a house of your choice, he wants to be able to write an offer, and with that offer, he wants to have the pre-approval letter or the pre-qualification letter to attach with the offer. Because usually when the other side, the other listing agent gets that offer, it's more favorable when they see a pre-qualification letter or a pre-approval letter attached to the offer. You excited? Great, I'm so glad you're here. Okay, are you ready for the next step? Okay, now that we're on to the next step, you ready to get started? Okay, what we're going to do is take the loan application. Going to need your full name, social security number, phone number, date of birth, and years of school, any college, master's, and then I need to find out if you're married, unmarried, single, divorced, widowed, or separated. And do you have any dependents that are living with you at home, whether they're children or parents or a family member, someone that you claim on your tax returns? Where's your present address, the address? Are you renting or do you own the property? And how long have you lived there? If it's less than 2 years, I'm going to need to know the previous address and how long you've been there. Where do you work? Who's your employer? The address, city, state, and zip. How long have you been at that job? And how long have you been in that industry or profession? What's your title, where you currently work, and the type of business, and the phone number. And if you have a second job, part-time job, I'll need that information. And if you've been at this job less than 2 years, I'm going to need all the previous jobs. Then we're going to go on to, where do you bank? Do you have a bank account, a checking account, a savings account? Need to know the balances and the account numbers. Then I'm going to need to know about your 401k and the balance, any stocks, bonds, mutual funds, life insurance, net cash value, and the face amount. If you have any real estate owned, if you own a home, the value, the vested interest in retirement fund, if you own a business, and if you have any cars, the year, make, and model, and any other assets, usually personal household goods at home. If everything was stolen or gone, how much would it take to replace everything? And then if we're buying this jointly or single, and then I list all the debts, and I usually get that from the credit report. And if you're renting, how much you're renting for. Or if you own, I'll look at the mortgage coupon, then I'll fill in all that there. But how much do you pay every month for that? And then I ask you a series of questions to declarations. Are there any judgments against you? Have you declared bankruptcy in the last 7 years? Have you had any foreclosures in the last 7 years or deed in lieu, like if you had a short sale? Are you party to a lawsuit? Are you obligated to pay any government loans? Are you delinquent with any federal debt, like student loans? Are you obligated to pay alimony, child support, or separate maintenance? Is any of the down payment borrowed? Are you a co-maker or endorser on a note? Like, did you co-sign for a car for someone else that you're not paying on? Are you a U.S. citizen? Or are you a permanent resident alien? Do you intend to occupy the property as your primary residence? Have you owned a house in the last 3 years? And how do you own property today if you do own a home? And then we have you sign, and then I ask you about your race, your nationality, if you're Hispanic, Asian, white, male, female. It's up to you if you want to furnish this information or if you don't want to furnish the information. And that's the loan application.